Good evening and welcome to Dinamo Stadium in Minsk. In front of a full house, England will be searching for four of a kind tonight against Belarus. This is the road to South Africa on ESPN. I'm Adrian Healy with Robbie Mustoe alongside. And Robbie, England looking to do something they've never done before tonight, and that's win their first four World Cup qualifiers in a row.
Yeah, that's right. I think the results so far have been very, very good. I think the performances probably could have been a bit better. But certainly 4 wins from the first 4 games will be what everybody wants in England.
Well, certainly the late goals against Kazakhstan put an extra layer of gloss over a performance that was sometimes lacking in the first half, but in the end a 5-1 victory seeing England through. As we look along the World Cup qualifier scoreboard tonight, these are the latest scores and a couple of full times as well. Israel have drawn 1-1 against Latvia in Group 2. In Group 3, the Czech Republic have beaten Slovenia by a 0-0, and a big win for Russia too, Robbie.
Yeah, Russia's a team that I like. Had a great game with Germany last time out, but that's a very, very convincing 3-0 win against Finland.
Russia off the back of that heartbreaking 2-1 loss to Germany. Germany will be in action against Wales later on. England fans had to be patient against Kazakhstan on Saturday at Wembley, but Rio Ferdinand headed them in front, and a late flurry provided the final sheen to the scoreline. 5-1, they beat Kazakhstan, and now it's opponents from Eastern Europe again tonight for England. They're in Minsk to take on Belarus. We'll bring you the team news and take you through to the first half kickoff next. Welcome back. This is the Dinamo Stadium in Minsk. England travelling to Belarus on the road to South Africa 2010 World Cup qualifier from Group 6. England 100% under Fabio Capello so far after wins against Andorra, Croatia and Kazakhstan. Now looking for the clean sweep in what will be their last competitive game for some 6 months. Adrian Healy with Robbie Mustoe alongside tonight. Robbie, some of the England fans getting on the case of the side on Saturday at Wembley, but a 5-1 victory nonetheless, not to be sniffed at.
No, that's right. I think obviously the fans and the players needed patience in that game. It took them until into the second half to get the breakthrough goal through Rio Ferdinand, but patience for me is the name of the game with England right now, and the fans sometimes just don't have that patience. The England performances are changing under Capello. Got to get used to the idea of a bit more of a patient build-up to their games, but you know, how can you argue at a 5-1 win?
Well, Fabio Capello's opposite number, Belarus coach Bernd Stange, has to do without his best player, Alexander Hleb. Most famous Belarusian not available tonight. His replacement effectively will be Igor Stazovic, who plays for Bate Borisov, who've been delighting a lot of people in the Champions League this season.
Well, they certainly have. They've been doing fantastically well, and look out for the 2 strikers. There's goals in there for them for Belarus.
Now, the surprise, if you can call it that, from Fabio Capello is that he makes just 1 change. It was an enforced one as well. The injury to Ashley Cole means Wayne Bridge is in, but Steven Gerrard, despite his own fears, does keep his place in the starting lineup. Yeah, and I think he should. I mean, what a player he is, Steven Gerrard. I mean, there's an issue, obviously, isn't there? Everybody's talking about it with Lampard and Gerrard being similar players, but you have, in my opinion, have to find a position for Gerrard in the team, as well as Lampard. It remains to be seen whether it will be a 4-3-3 tonight, Robbie, or something a little bit different. It was 4-3-3 in the first half against Kazakhstan on Saturday. That didn't really work. Fabio Capello changed it at half-time, and a very different result after that. Yeah, it was, and I think it suits Wayne Rooney to play closer to Heskey. There he is in your picture. We'll just watch out for his starting position, because that's going to tell us how we're playing here. We might play Rooney in behind Heskey and Gerrard on the left-hand side, or we might just play the same way, 4-3-3, with Barry as the holding midfield player, Lampard and Gerrard on either side. Over 41,000 capacity crowd packed into this Dinamo Stadium in the capital city of Belarus, Minsk. It's where Bate Borisov have been playing their Champions League home games. Quite a year for Belarusian football with Bate's exploits. Remember, they held Juventus to a 2-2 draw here just a couple of weeks ago. England looking to come here in a professional manner. That's the word that Fabio Capello keeps on using. Professionalism, getting the job done. And he certainly has brought the X factor so far to the job of England manager.
I think we must remember the teams that's been played so far in this competition. Take out Croatia, and you really can't say they've been up against too much competition. I think there'll be stern tests ahead.
Well, this test is underway now. Belarus in their traditional red and green. will be going from left to right as we open up play. Vitaly Kutuzov, the man who plies his trade in Parma, in the Italian second division now. One of the two front runners tonight for Belarus. Vitaly Buliga is the other. They're the potential danger men in the absence of Alexander Hleb, who was saying quite a bit about this Belarusian team before the game, saying they like to spread the ball around, like to play a bit of football, keep it on the ground, almost compared them to Arsenal, Robbie.
Oh, it was a big statement, wasn't it? But fantastic. It's the way the game should be played. Let's see if they can do it against a very, very strong England side.
Another chance for England to look at the burgeoning relationship between Emil Heskey and Wayne Rooney up front. Not for now, though. They've given away a free kick near the halfway line. Bernd Stanger is the Belarusian boss, a man with a very colourful past. Coached the Iraqi national team fairly recently, as well as the old East Germany. As Stazovic makes his way forward. First piece of action for Wayne Bridge. Selected by Fabio Capello tonight to play at left-back. Bridge has played just 7 minutes this season in the Premier League for Chelsea.
Yeah, but a very good player, very established, composed left-back, very, very good on the ball, likes to get forward. Sometimes a question mark over his defending. Looks like he's got Igor Stazovic on his side to deal with in tonight's game.
David James, the ripe old age of 38, continues as the England #1. First ever meeting between these two nations at a senior level. They met in a B international just prior to World Cup of 2006, and Belarus won on that occasion. A game played in Reading and won by 2-1. Heskey getting involved, trying to disrupt Sitko. Little touch from Rooney. And scampering forward is Wayne Bridge. And Gareth Barry's attempt to down the line to Wayne Bridge was snuffed out. So England the perfect 3 for 3 for Belarus. Well, they weren't in action this past weekend. They won their last qualifier 3-1 in Andorra. Remember, that's a place where England went and scored just twice in a 2-0 win. And they lost their first qualifier by a 0-0 in the Ukraine, but were very unlucky to do so. They lost to a 94th minute penalty scored by Andrei Shevchenko.
Well, they certainly started brightly here in the first few minutes. They look very composed on the ball, confident, trying to play it out from the back through midfield. In some ways, that might suit England, I feel. If they try and play expansive football, it might be what England need away from home. Just incidentally as well, it looks like Wayne Rooney is playing closer to Emil Heskey. So Gerrard will probably, though he's in the centre right now, I think he'll be playing on this left-hand side more of a 4-4-2.
Turge Hauge is the Norwegian official, and David Beckham wonders if he'll get a chance for cap number 107 off the bench. Sitko goes down, and more work required for the England back line here as Belarus set up shop. Some 35 yards from goal. It'll be Dmitry Molosh and Igor Stazovic standing over this.
Molosh has come across from left back. He's going to swing this one in.
Molosh giving David James something to think about. Dipping effort, safely clutched by the Portsmouth keeper. England losing Robert Green from the goalkeeping ranks for tonight's game. Here comes Theo Walcott behind Wayne Rooney.
Well, it all starts from great play from Emil Heskey, working hard to win the ball back, then sets Theo Walcott off on the right-hand side. It's good play from England.
Rooney again, trying to think with Walcott, who was so sensational, of course, in England's last away game, that 4-1 win in Croatia. Walcott with a hat-trick, but as it has been pointed out, that was against 10 men.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question about his speed. Can really be a nightmare for a defender when he gets the ball facing forward, taking you on. It's just his consistency, getting the ball, finding the angles to receive the ball, not just staying wide all the time, as the best wide players now do. They foray inside, they just try and find the little pockets of space. He's just got to learn that part of his game, Walcott. Certainly bags and bags of ability.
That's a thunderous welcome to the game challenge from Dimitri Molosh. Lampard with the restart for England. Nothing coming from it. Yuri Zhevnov is the man in goal for Belarus.
I think also the way that England is set up here, Steven Gerrard will not stay on the left-hand side all the time. They'll look to drift inside, get in between the midfield players and Rooney and Heskey. Just try and get on the ball because he's a fantastic attacking player, Steven Gerrard.
Facing his own goal, Matthew Upson had to be careful. Upson continuing in the centre of defence, partnering Rio Ferdinand. And working his way into the area was Putzillo. David James relieving the pressure. Belarus certainly beginning the game with real intent here. A touch from Boliga left something to be desired.
I think any away game, you know, Adrian, you always expect a quick start from the opposition. England are in town. It's going to be a well-supported game, plenty of noise in there, plenty of atmosphere. The players are going to be up for it. Huge game for those players there from Belarus. England just got to take the steam out of the game with possession and just try and get through the first 10-15 minutes.
Wayne Bridge is calmly back to the Upson and Ferdinand combination. Matthew Upson winning his 11th cap tonight, the West Ham United man. Rio Ferdinand, of course, started his career with West Ham. This is Walcott. A little jink to the outside and a fine delivery too, which Wayne Rooney felt he was impeded in trying to reach.
Well, it's a big reaction from Wayne Rooney. Here he sees the ball coming in, he makes that run. And just a clever little pullback. Emiljanchuk, the right back for Belarus. He just got a little piece of Rooney, stopping him getting through.
Rooney, right back on the scene. Rooney's last 5 England international goals have come against opposition from this part of the world. Kazakhstan, not a brace against them, but Croatia, Russia and Estonia. Rooney back amongst the goals after a long absence, really.
Yeah, I think Rooney appreciates playing in the centre. He said that he's played out there on the left-hand side for Manchester United a few times, and he'll do that, but he prefers to be in the middle where he can get on the ball a lot more.
Frank Lampard lofting it into the area. Flick-on looked to be an inviting one from Emil Heskey.
He's a player that's kind of gone in and out of fashion, isn't he, Emil Heskey, over the years? Always works very hard, big, strong presence up there.
Over 3 years in the international wilderness for Heskey, post-Euro 2004. Seems to have worked his way back through sheer hard work and determination, Robbie.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's always... I think the only thing you say about him is he maybe doesn't score enough goals, but England is certainly benefiting at the moment from his performances. Rooney and the other front players enjoy having Heskey around. He holds the ball up well, brings them into the game.
It's a Startovic. Will bring Belarus forward. Sitko worked his way across the field diagonally, ran into Wes Brown. Brown trying to release Theo Walcott, just a step away from it. Marsh came across to win it back, and Kulchi plants a long ball forward for the home side. And they've come from all parts of England, as they always do. Some 2,500 travelling English fans tonight. Rio Ferdinand, in his very vocal role now as England captain, trying to point out that a lot of these England players, Robbie, would probably be amongst those crowd if they weren't actually out there playing.
No, I think so. I think it gets frustrating for the supporters watching the players. You know, they'd love to be down there themselves, but these are players just like them. They are down there. That's all they are. England fans, they're lucky to the ability to play for England.
Oh, a splendid effort from Steven Gerrard. England explode into action, and Gerrard delivers a stunning strike.
Well, from nothing really, fantastic work from Wayne Rooney. Steven Gerrard, as we thought, drifting in from the left-hand side, just fancies this first time. And this is all about accuracy, direction, right into the corner. Shevnov can't get across. What a goal.
Steven Gerrard, a man who's been riveted with self-doubt, it appears, in the aftermath of the weekend game against Kazakhstan. What better way to answer his fiercest critic, who appears to be himself, Robbie.
Yeah, I read the interview, and very, very honest and genuine words from Steven Gerrard, and talking about his form for Liverpool. Can't seem to be repeated at national level, but as you said, what a way to get back on track, maybe give himself some confidence. Can't imagine I'm saying that with such a great player that Steven Gerrard is.
Gerrard pointing out that he always felt a great deal more tense in the England squad than he did with Liverpool. The longer gaps between games playing a part in that, the desire to succeed. Well, he certainly has done that tonight. His 14th international goal for England. And what is his 70th appearance for his country?
Yeah, I think he talked about just trying too hard, going all over the pitch, trying to do it himself at times, when just needs to relax a little bit, play his own game. I mean, he's a class player, there's no question about that. And for me, should always get a starting place in this England team.
Well, Rooney was involved in the build-up to the goal. Here he is with Heskey. Going to wreak some more havoc, this time comfortably removed by Belarus. Sick goal. Going to repel them forward. Silo picking up the pieces. Good Silo. Left-footed effort, which David James struggles to hold on to. Again, it was dipping, potentially awkward for James.
Yeah, it's one of those difficult ones that's bounced just before him, but finally manages to get hold of the ball, David James.
And Gerrard is on the move again and tries his luck. He had Walcott outside him, screaming for the ball, but having just beaten Yuri Shevnov from distance, he was only going to try it again.
Well, absolutely. And how many times have we seen him score from that kind of range for Liverpool? So, always worth a go. But certainly getting lots of the ball, Steven Gerrard. That's exactly what the coach wants, even though he's playing slightly more left than he'd probably like. He's coming inside and getting plenty of the ball.
Another perfect start for Fabio Capello. England have yet to trail under him in a competitive game.
I think part of the plan as well with this England formation is that Wayne Bridge does make up that width on the left-hand side whenever he can. Steven Gerrard doesn't want to be there making that width up all the time. So Wayne Bridge, when they have possession, England can make those runs down the left-hand flank.
To pass my phone number.
Lampard spraying it wide. Walcott's touch, though, is not a delicate one. Wes Brown is marooned as Pavel Sitko sets sail into England territory. And the ball slipped under the foot of Gareth Barry, but no damage done for the English cause.
You still get the feeling that there's plenty of football to be played in this game, even though they've gone 1-0 down, Belarus. They still look like they've got good attacking players, technically gifted players. England are going to have to stay on their toes.
In many ways, Robbie, the goal was a bolt from the blue. It caught everyone by surprise, didn't it? Rooney's little knockdown.
Well, I don't think he even knocked it down. I think his control took him to Steven Gerrard and hit it first time. As you said, it was a little bit out of the blue.
Now, Kulchi. There's Brown getting the challenge in. Lampard trying to do the same, but to no avail. Alexander Kulchi again on the ball. Most experienced international out there for Belarus. FIFA has the whole nation ranked at 57th in the world. Prior to kick-off. You consider Kazakhstan, where less than 130th in that department. It's a measure of increased level of the opposition tonight for England, as opposed to Saturday. Alexander Hleb not available for Belarus. His brother, Slava Hleb, as he's known, is on the bench. Sitko, not a bad effort. David James again needing a couple of chances to get the ball under control.
Well, he did. It was a very, very good shot. Pavel Sitko's been bright on the left-hand side. Just comes inside and it's a first-time shot. And David James may be a little bit surprised at that. Molosh it was, the fullback coming forward. Sitko inside him. That's a good effort.
And Sitko has been in good goal-scoring form for his club, Vitebsk. On the bench for the English. David Beckham, Sean Wright-Phillips, Glenn Johnson. And then the Portsmouth duo, Defoe and Crouch. Here's Stazovic. Barry, though, there to break things up. Some of the thought was that Gareth Barry and Frank Lampard might be the midfield tandem if Steven Gerrard was to miss out tonight, but in the end, Fabio Capello finding room for all three.
Yeah, and I think it just has to happen. We haven't got an outstanding left-sided midfield player. That's been a problem for a few years now for England. But why not put Steven Gerrard there? I think he's a player, Gerrard, that can play anywhere. I think preferably he'd like to be the attacking central midfield player, but we've got Frank Lampard, who's a very, very good player, playing at a top-class team and playing well, scoring goals, so he needs to be in the side as well. So this is probably the right system, I feel, at the moment for England.
Giveaway this time, though, and Steven Gerrard. Belarus continuing to ask some questions of the English defence. Another shooting opportunity opens up, and David James called into action once more. It's 4 separate occasions now.
Well, just this little combination play from Belarus, and another very, very good shot. This time, David James makes no mistake with the first attempt. But England just need to get a little bit tighter around the edge of their own box. Belarus very, very bright. Little 1-2s, through balls. They look very dangerous.
And Pavel Sitko has had a finger in every pie so far for Belarus. This is Emil Heskey. Ferdinand. Finally back to David James as Fabio Capello continues to orchestrate.
That's what he does for you, Emil Heskey. He'll just make those runs in behind just to relieve the pressure. It's a longer ball, but it's a good ball if he can get on the end of the ball.
Lampard, meanwhile, swinging it across field for Bridge. There's Gerrard for company, and the two of them work a bit of an opening for Bridge. This cross, though, repelled by Filipenko. Belarus can build again. just failing to cut them off at the pass. And here comes that man Sitko. This time asking a bit much of Kutuzov. It's fallen for Buliga. He couldn't control, and Rooney is the release valve.
Good tempo from Belarus. They're continuing to force England to defend, asking questions of the midfield players.
Now booking handed out to Anton Putsilo. Turge Hauge not hesitating for that transgression.
And that's a bad challenge. It's a lunge in with his studs up. We've all seen red cards for challenges like that. A lunge into the tackle, Anton Putsilo.
Putsilo, who is on loan in the German Bundesliga at the moment with Hamburg. He's only made 3 appearances. Most of this Belarusian squad playing their football either at home in Belarus or in the Russian First Division. A couple of exceptions with Kutuzov playing in Parma, Italian Second Division.
I think what England just need to watch a little bit. There's another long ball there up for Heskey. Heskey's in the team, obviously very good at holding the ball up, strong. England don't really need to be getting into too many long balls. They lose possession, give it back to Belarus, and they have to defend again.
Well, this time it's Starzovic's turn to be flattened. Wayne Bridge is the culprit.
He just gets outdone there a little bit.
Oh, James came for the cross. Never got there. We have Ferdinand in front of him. Midway through the first half in Minsk. Belarus 0, Steven Gerrard and England 1.
England just going through a bad patch right now. They can't keep the ball. Keep giving it back to Belarus.
That was a nervy touch, wasn't it, from Wes Brown? And Stazovic scored one of Bante's goals against Juventus. And number 16, his ball inside, finding a taker. And that's a slicing and dicing effort for Pavel Sitko, who couldn't get there ahead of David James. But they are finding the wherewithal to open up the English defence.
Well, Alexander Kleb maybe was right. They are playing a very, very attractive Arsenal-like football game here. Great combination football there again with a one-touch ball, almost finding forward. David James very quick off his line, but England at the moment are struggling with the passing and moving of Belarus.
Gerrard's goal has given England comfort on the scoreline, but no the comfort afforded by the home side here. Belarus enjoying the lion's share of possession. Another accurate initial pass. Silo ended up on the ground. Once again, though, the clearance evades the English midfield. Play on, says Turge Hauge. This is the fullback, Melnianchuk. Another finely weighted pass. Those diagonal balls into the area for Sitko and company have proved to be very effective.
Now, what they've done well, Belarus, they've attacked very, very well down either flank. Dimitri Molosh on the left-hand side, and Melnianchuk on this right-hand side. The fullbacks are really getting forward, getting involved in the build-up play. It's good stuff from Belarus.
Well, this is a nation who, as recently as August, held Argentina to a draw here. 0-0 in a friendly. Also drew with Germany 2-2 just prior to Euro 2008. biggest ever scalp was probably the victory against Holland in Euro qualifying a year ago, but that was against a Dutch side who had already qualified at that stage. And won here in Minsk, 2-1. Lampard. There's Brown's ball going nowhere, but a second bite at the cherry. Upson. Wide for Bridge now. That's an interesting pass for Emil Heskey. Holding up. Plenty of support arriving. He's forced to check back to the outside. Heskey trying to beat his man and does so, and delivering the cross. And Wayne Rooney beyond the far post. So nearly making the most of it.
Well, he did. It was a good ball initially from Gareth Barry. I think the midfield right up to Emil Heskey. Good work on the left-hand side. He's slipping here, but what a cross that is. And Rooney just can't get it goalwards.
There's a tight angle, and he had Igor Filipenko to contend with. Looked as though Emil Heskey had run it out of a real productive area there.
Yeah, and I was just waiting for some help for maybe Wayne Bridge to come on the outside of him or Steven Gerrard, but he was left on his own a little bit. But he did fantastically well to get it into the box like that.
Sitko slipping it inside. Malosh. And Stazovic. Richie getting involved in the build-up, so too Buliga. Not many passes going astray for the men in red. That's another fine example. And the cutback finds an open header. Belarus rising to the occasion, and Sitko has struck.
Well, let me tell you, you won't see a better goal than this for a long time. Just a general build-up play. This is the final touch, Sitko. But England were absolutely carved apart with some wonderful, intricate football on the edge of the box. Look at that for composure. Stands it up to the back post. Pavel Sitko has been magnificent from the first minute. Really, Wes Brown's been drawn across to a striker in the middle. Walcott doesn't get back in that emergency situation where he's needed to. And wow, after a fantastic period of play from Belarus, they get the equalising goal.
The crowd in Minsk absolutely exploding. It's no more than Belarus have deserved. David James utterly helpless to deal with a point-blank range header from Pavel Sitko. He's looked like the man most likely to do the damage. And his header, his first goal for his country. As England back to square one. Sitko involved again immediately. This time Wes Brown making the challenge. As he pointed out, it was Walcott who was left to do the defending.
I mean, it's not really Walcott's man, but in the build-up to that play, because the football was so good from Belarus, Ferdinand got drawn across, and then Brown did, left the outside guy free at the back post, and Walcott, it's always going to be difficult for him to get back. But I suppose in an emergency, he has to try and do that. Couldn't manage it, and the rest is history. But England need to respond, to possess the ball a little bit better, because at the moment, Belarus are giving England a little bit of a footballing lesson.
I think Alexander Kleb is pretty much spot on in his assessment of this side. But now Rooney trying to strike back. He's offside, though. Shevnov beat him to the ball in any case.
I mean, it's the way they play Belarus. They look like a team full of Alexander Klebs. This is that sort of player they have. Stazovic on the right-hand side, Sitko. It's very close, this one. Rooney just going a fraction early. But also, Stazovic, Sitko, the two wide players, they're only 22. And sometimes with a lot of these good sides, it's built on a good crop of young players.
Half an hour gone, and England under the cosh. in Minsk. All that after Steven Gerrard had given them the perfect platform early on. It's a platform they didn't build on. One that was very quickly whisked away by this brisk and accurate Belarus midfield and front line for that matter. Rio Ferdinand, the English captain. Plenty to say in the build-up to the game. Most of it extremely complimentary in the direction of Fabio Capello. Not so much in the direction of some of Mr. Capello's predecessors.
We're just getting a little bit caught out here on this left-hand side, England. Steven Gerrard's coming across now. Because he's playing inside a lot and advanced a lot, Janchuk, the fullback here, number 4, is getting loads of space with the ball to bring it forward. Just look a little bit loose defensively, England, right now.
And he was heavily involved in the build-up to the goal, wasn't he? Janchuk. The goal had its origins on this near-hand side with that man, Sergei Janchuk. And Gerrard, first to the loose ball. And, connecting with Kulchi. The second most capped Belarusian ever, Alexander Kulchi. In his 73rd cap tonight.
Look at Belarus, the way they're lined up. Their shape is very, very good. They look very organised. They get back behind the ball, then they pressure. And so far, England have struggled to possess the ball, keep it for any length of time, really. It's been more like sporadic attacks. The goal came in the odd attack, but other than that, Belarus have dominated the game.
Yes, apart from the goal from Steven Gerrard, really only one other shot from Gerrard, just a couple of minutes after the goal to speak of, but Walcott in good position here. Rooney trying to pick up the pieces. And Rooney with no one available to his left. Wants to dink it through for Lampard, who gets there. Now Bridge putting his head down, heading for the byline. But his opposite number, Filipenko, intervening. Filipenko, who plays for Spartak Moscow. A rare corner for England, which Lampard is set to deliver. And Heskey is there. Well, he rose majestically and powered a downward header. It's the wrong side of the post for the Wigan man.
Well, yeah, makes that run into the near post area. He gets up higher than everybody else. He's in front of the near post, so it's a difficult header to get it back on goal.
You mentioned the main knock on Emil Heskey perhaps being his lack of productivity. 17 internationals without a goal. Emil Heskey. And now Walcott is away. He's fast, but he's not that fast.
It's a good ball though. Wayne Rooney spotted the run of Theo Walcott and just overhit his pass a little bit.
This is Stazovic. Losing out this time to Bridge on the near side. Heskey upended. Vitaly Kutuzov, the man who plays his football with Parma. Long ball forward from the restart for Heskey. Can't quite break his way. Kulchi. Silo. Belarus flowing forward again. This time Barry and Brown combining to build a wall. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Robbie, what do you think England have to achieve over the remaining 10 minutes of this period?
Well, a couple of things. I think they need to be, in this particular period, they need to be very, very solid as a shape. They've got to get their 2 banks of 4 set up, because at the moment Belarus are dominating the game. But on a longer term, they've got to get into the game. They've got to pass the ball better, control the game. Belarus are controlling it just through skillful, technical football.
England's best moments have come from episodes just like that one, where a loose ball almost broke their way. Heskey this time drawing the foul from Meljanchuk. First set piece in a really productive situation here for Fabio Capello's side.
Well, there's some good height with England. Matthew Upson, Rio Ferdinand, Wes Brown, Emil Heskey. I'm not sure whether Belarus have that size of player to mark up.
And it's Barry and Lampard who are going to try and strike this, and Lampard does hit it. Comfortably dealt with by Zhevnov. Immediately trying to propel Belarus forward.
Yeah, I think that's been a feature of their performance, Belarus. Very, very quick tempo. They want to get the ball down, play. England really at times have struggled to handle their movement.
David James, who made his England debut under Glenn Hoddle against Mexico back in 1997. Cap number 44 for him tonight. Wayne Bridge. His last competitive start for England was that forgettable one, defeat against Croatia at Wembley last October. Spelled doom for their Euro 2008 chances. Ferdinand. Walcott was his target, put it right on his head. Walcott still with plenty to do. Corralled by Dimitri Molosh. Well, he's got to be ecstatic, hasn't he, Bernd Stanger? You'd never know it by looking at him.
No, I think he's got to be very pleased. What a good performance so far from his team. Play some lovely football. The only thing I would think, maybe, can they keep this tempo and quality up for the whole of the game? To say about England, very, very strong physically. They're a strong side.
The delicate lob over the top was designed for Rooney, but Zhevnov there first. Meljanchuk down the line. Canning out of play off of Wayne Bridge. Behind Ashley Cole for club and country. Wayne Bridge. This is Gerrard. The touch on from Heskey has Walcott away. Again, though, quick thinking by Zhevnov puts out the fire.
Well, again, his speed and pace causing Belarus some troubles, and it's been a good avenue for England, that right-hand side. Long balls out to Walcott.
And good vision from Emil Heskey. That's the pivot in that last England move. Oh, it's Steven Gerrard and Barry. Two great friends off the pitch. Trying to get England kick-started again. Ferdinand finding Rooney. Walcott in space this time. Well, it looked as though he had the beating of Dimitri Molosh. And his sliding tackle works like a treat.
Well, a good chance for England there. What a through ball it was from Wayne Rooney. There he goes again.
Now Walcott, this time, is ahead of his man. Now trying to replicate a couple of his angled drives against Croatia, perhaps, but that was a lot further out.
It was, and I think this time he probably should have taken it on, where before he maybe should have got a cross or shot off earlier on. I think in going through this time, he's thinking to himself, oh, I messed up last time, maybe I should shoot. And I think he could have taken that one further forward. But that's what he's learning. Decisions on the ball, when to pass, when to shoot.
Melnianchuk stepping in decisively. Give away this time. And Molosh. It's a little bit of a better spell, this, for England, perhaps. Coming at the tail end of the first half.
I think what they've just done, they've just come into the game a little bit. I don't think it's a great spell, but they've just evened things up a little bit. The game is a little bit more even the last 5 or 6 minutes or so. Maybe Belarus just starting to tire a little bit towards the end of the first half, but they've really given everything in terms of effort and real good quality as well with the ball.
It is in Minsk. Steven Gerrard for England. Pavel Sitko equalising for Belarus. And England appearing to have their work very much cut out for them. They are to achieve 4 consecutive victories to open up World Cup qualifying with, something they've never done before.
I mean, really, the story of the first half has been Belarus controlling possession and England really playing pretty much on the counter-attack.
Bridge seeking out Heskey. Walcott first to react. And the bounce eluding him. Imagine the tempo that Belarus were playing at, Robbie. It was quite extraordinary. Perhaps some of the effects being felt now in the last 5 minutes of this first half. Belarus just going down a notch or two.
Yeah, I think so. And I think also, I know Capello talked a lot about how this is going to be a difficult game, but did the players really believe it? Because they seem to be taken by surprise, really, with Belarus's energy. But particularly, I think the quality of their football was excellent.
Now Walcott getting more and more involved for England. Losing out there to Molosh. Gerrard close to winning it back. Now it's Kutuzov who picks up the loose ball. Foul given against Frank Lampard in the centre circle. Stuff. And to Rio Ferdinand. Stand the flick on was from Gerrard. He was trying to connect with Rooney. He was flattened for his troubles. Well, since World Cup of 2006, Steven Gerrard's only previous competitive goals have all come against Andorra for England, so a very welcome strike for him tonight.
It's just a different style, isn't it? When England go forward, it's more of a direct approach. It's get the ball out wide, let's look to cross it in the box. I think Belarus have been much more intricate in their football. And sometimes a criticism of English football in general, it's very direct, not very intricate. When you look at some of the teams, Arsenal and Chelsea at times this season, very, very nice, attractive football. And for me, England just a little bit direct. Got to learn that. Got to learn to be intricate, more short passes through the midfield area. That's the way the game's going right now.
Well, just the one additional minute to be played at the tail end of this first half. Those that would say it's never been about the beautiful game with Fabio Capello. It's always been about results, the bottom line.
Yeah, and so far, his results have been very, very good in competitive games. So, I suppose, so far, so good for Capello in England.
But a test here for sure, and certainly an intriguing second half that lies in wait in Minsk. England second best for long stretches of this first half, despite the brilliant start that Steven Gerrard gave them. A goal really out of the blue in the 12th minute. England failing to build on that and paying the penalty, with Pavel Sitko's header very deservedly bringing the home side back on level terms. So it's 1-1 after 45 minutes. Don't go away. We'll be back in Minsk with a half-time show and bring you up to date with all the other scores around Europe on this night of World Cup qualification. Welcome back. This is the Dinamo Stadium in Minsk. Belarus 1, England 1 is where we're at after 45 minutes of this Group 6 World Cup qualifier on the road to South Africa. Busy night around all of Europe, indeed the entire world, as all eyes start to focus on South Africa, just over 600 days away now. The start of World Cup 2010. Who will be the European representation? Well, Russia getting a result they needed, Robbie. 3-0 against Finland. Northern Ireland leading San Marino by a goal to 0. Germany 0, Wales 0. That's still a game in progress. Israel drawing earlier today 1-1 against Latvia, and the Czech Republic getting a win by a narrow margin 1-0 against Slovenia.
Yeah, I think Greece as well have started off very well, haven't they? That'll be their first loss if they lose at home against Switzerland.
Yes, the Swiss trying to recover from that disaster home to Luxembourg a month ago. And England certainly not having things all their own way. Far from it here. Belarus proving to be mighty tricky opposition through the first 45 minutes. 1-1 is where we're at. We'll have the first half highlight. The Dinamo Stadium in Minsk, seeing England being held here by Belarus 1-1. Their fourth game in Group 6 in the European World Cup qualification. Adrian Healy with Robbie Mustoe alongside. Funny first half in many ways, Robbie, because England haven't done anything to perhaps deserve the lead which they got. Before that was a free kick which David James had to deal with from Dimitri Molosh. Then really out of nothing, they did take the lead.
Just Wayne Rooney here does well, brings the ball down, just forced nicely for Steven Gerrard. A long, long way out. Very, very accurate strike into that left-hand corner. The keeper's left. He can't get across to save it, but really against the runner play a little bit. Good play from Rooney initially here, and just leaves this one. Gerrard comes in and fancies it. Steers it into the corner.
Steven Gerrard doing for country, he so often does for club. And that just served to inspire Belarus. This was first of several opportunities for Pavel Sitko. Just a couple of minutes later, involved again. Pulci also in the build-up. Low effort this time for James to save, but the other end, Emil Heskey, managed to set something up for Wayne Rooney. Tough chance this, Robbie, for Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, he did well here, Heskey. Was sliding. What a ball that is, but under pressure from the defending player, Rooney, it's a difficult chance.
And just a couple of minutes later, a wonderfully engineered equaliser for Belarus. Kutuzov was involved, so too Sitko with the final touch.
Well, it's a goal of real composure. Stasovic there with the fake. What a ball that is as well, right on the money. Sitko unmarked at the back post. Good play. Kutuzov there. That's the moment there. Excellent check back. Theo Walcott couldn't get back in time, and a deserved equaliser.
What a moment to pick to score your first international goal. Pavel Sitko hauling Belarus deservedly level, and they really matched England in pretty much every department all over the pitch, Robbie.
I think so. I think particularly possession. There's not a possession stat there, but they really played some lovely football, good shots, and certainly give England defenders and midfield players lots and lots to think about.
And plenty to think about, plenty to mull over at half-time for Fabio Capello. Will we see the same sort of switch they employed against Kazakhstan, Wembley this past weekend, perhaps? He did change things around in the second half. We shall see when we return to Minsk. Belarus 1, England 1. You're watching the road to South Africa unfold right here on ESPN. Welcome back to Minsk. England have been posed a problem by Belarus here at the Dinamo Stadium. 1-1 after 45 minutes of this World Cup qualifier. Adrian Healy with Robbie Mustoe alongside. So glad you could join us tonight on ESPN as England try and make it 4 wins out of 4 to begin a World Cup qualification in that way for the first time ever. But Belarus, Robbie, a side with very different ideas and no lack of footballing ability, as we saw in the first half.
No, I was particularly impressed the way that they started the game, the enthusiasm, but in particular just the quality they had. Some wonderful interchanging 1-2s, good movement from the wide players coming inside. Really, really good football inside. For me, though, can they maintain it? Do they have the strength, the substance in that team to really push England for the 90 minutes? That's the big question mark, I feel, for Belarus.
They really played at a tempo that England found difficult to live with at times. In the first half, the response from Bernd Stanger's men to going behind was mightily impressive. Bernd Stanger, the 60-year-old coach of Belarus, who was brought up in East Germany during the Cold War. He was actually once accused of spying for the old East German police, the Stasi. He got fired from Hertha Berlin for that transgression. It's a nomadic career that's brought him here to Belarus via Cyprus and Iraq. And certainly mentioned a footballing side the nation can be proud of. This tiny nation of just 9.7 million, where ice hockey is at times more important than football. England have their work cut out for them as they begin the second half, with Theo Walcott getting upended immediately. Heskey on to Wayne Rooney. And Rio Ferdinand guiding it back to David James. And we were wondering whether Fabio Capello would affect any changes at half-time. We actually doubted it, Robbie, and it doesn't look like he has.
No, I think as long as it stays at 1-1 and Capello sees England maybe getting stronger in the second half, maybe keep things as they are, but we've certainly got lots of players England to bring onto it, forward players, Defoe, the big Peter Crouch, and Sean Wright-Phillips we might see later.
Oh, look at angst on the face of Fabio Capello as he saw Theo Walcott burst into a promising position here, and then just allowing the ball to get away from him. It's the first home World Cup qualifier for Belarus after defeat in Ukraine and victory in Andorra. At the end of the night, England will have played 3 of their first 4 away from home. David Beckham limbering up. And a rare miscue. Igor Stazovic on the far side, allowing the ball to slip away. Kotsov involved. Emil Heskey. And with the infringement. Crouch also readying himself for England. had 2 whistles which never arrived, but now it's England on the move with Rooney. He's picked his way through, Wayne Rooney. And couldn't generate any real power with the shot.
Vitali Biguga complaining there. Rooney through on. Does well here, gets into the box. Then he has options. He's got his head down, wants to shoot a goal. He can't get any purchase, any power on the shot. There's an injured player for Belarus down.
Well, Wayne Rooney perhaps memories of scoring in this part of the world against Macedonia. His first English goal. He was England's youngest ever goal scorer back then in September of 2003.
He just gets stepped on there in the back of his left heel or Achilles tendon. And Gareth Barry just catching him.
Zhevnov wanting it long and wide right. Side flag up against Emil Heskey. Off with the restart. There's Brown winning the aerial duel. And England coughed the ball up in the middle third. They've had an inclination to do. Heskey alive to the possibilities from the throw. Shrugs off one challenge. Rooney awaiting in the middle. Wayne Rooney. It was devastating. Emil Heskey slicing his way through on the left, and Rooney applying the calmest of finishes.
Well, he might not score many goals, Heskey, but if he continues to do this, Capello won't mind. Great work from Heskey. Very, very quick there. Gets away from the defender. Good composure right here. He's got his head up. It's an easy ball and a nice finish from Wayne Rooney. More goals for Rooney. Suspicion of offside, just stays behind Heskey as he delivers the ball and then makes no mistake.
Well, Wayne Rooney, after that horrible drought in terms of competitive goals after Euro 2004, now exploding into life. 4 in his last 3. And just a sense that the Belarus defence were caught napping there, Robbie.
I just think Heskey out-muscled one of the defending players, and then when he's in behind, then they've got problems. Again, the 2 central defenders for Belarus are very, very young. Filipenko's only 20, Verkostov 22. Maybe just showed a little bit of inexperience there, trying to out-muscle Emil Heskey on that flank.
The goal early in the first half for England only served as a springboard for mighty effective play from Belarus. Will it be the same story in the second half? It's going to have to be for the home side. But England back where they want to be. And that's in front. Bridge. Finding Rooney. He thought Steven Gerrard was in close attendance.
Well, he was, but just in that situation there, Fabio Capello's talked about Rooney just having a little bit more composure and take his time on the ball. And that there, just when he could have taken his time a little bit, maybe put his foot on the ball and look up.
He did get into a very promising position again, didn't he? Deep inside the Belarus penalty area as Wayne Bridge finds himself out of position now. Sick goal. Barry and Lampard mopping up. on the point of attack to Wes Brown on the near-hand side. Lampard to Bridge. Heskey bowled over.
Just for the first time in this game, Belarus just being forced back a little bit by England's possession. Themselves, they've given the ball away, Belarus, a little bit too much through the midfield area. Looking stronger now, England.
Heskey was lurking, trying to pick up the head on from Matthew Upson.
There's a ball in at the back post. Heskey couldn't reach it. It just looks like he's struggling a little bit of a limp, Emil Heskey.
Upson, neat and tidy. Wayne Bridge surging forward. They're not going to stop enjoying themselves. The scoreline reads. Biggest crowd in Minsk. The whole Belarus game for many a year.
We're going to find out now what Belarus have in the tank. Second England goal. Can they get their football going again? Struggle to live up to the same quality in the second half as the first.
That will be a worrying sign for home fans and for Bernd Stange as Pavel Sitko goes down. Very quickly back up. And so far, at least, Robbie, the same sort of fragility that there seemed to be the England midfielder defence at times in the first half.
Yeah, they just look like they're on their toes a little bit more, England. It's a little bit more determination, I feel, trying to win the ball back. I think that's affected Belarus. Stop their rhythm of the passing. It's extra pressure from the England players.
And there's a theme we've seen at times with England under Capello, isn't it? A slow start, a slow first half an hour. I know it sounds strange to say that in a game in which they scored first early on, but it was a slow start, wasn't it, Babe?
Absolutely it was, yeah. I mean, they totally against the run of play and then were dominated for large parts of that first half. Maybe just towards the end of it, they started coming back into the game, but I just feel with a footballing side like Belarus are, how fragile are they when they have a little bad period? Got to try and get their passing game going again now, the home side.
I think that the first half an hour, and the big win in Croatia, that's something to be desired for England. First half against Kazakhstan this last Saturday was not what Fabio Capello was looking for. Even against Andorra, he struggled in the first 45 minutes, but found a way to get it right in the second half. That has also been the theme of Capello's brief reign so far.
He talks about wins being all important, performance is second best, which is right. But you have to think about performance when you think about some of the better teams that are going to face later, obviously in the World Cup. At the moment, not great performances are still getting results against these lesser nations.
David James, nothing to trouble him so far in the second half, and he was a busy man at times during that purple patch for Belarus in the first period. Lampard back against the grain, finds its way through to Bridge. Heskey on a turn and spin away from Verkotsov, but it's Belarus looking to turn defence into attack. Worked it through Kulchi and on to Sitko. Oh, no one arrived. driving. It's as though he heard footsteps there, Pavel Sitko.
Yeah, as expected, Vitaly Buliga just to make a run in the inside left channel, which he didn't make.
On from Heskey.
Look at Gerrard now, he's almost playing in behind those two forwards, a lot more centrally based in his second half. Steven Gerrard, Rooney just pulling to the left a little bit more.
And Rooney running into trouble. And Buliga trying to provide England with more trouble. Kutuzov trying to nutmeg Frank Lampard. Didn't quite work. Silo. Melnianchuk. That's where the goal started for Belarus in the first half, and it needed to be a sure challenge in the air there from Wes Brown.
Well, it was Kolchi, the midfield player, who made the run. There's a big space there. Steven Gerrard kind of went with him, but didn't really get goal side. Good defending from Wes Brown, good covering. Spotted the danger coming through and just closed up the gap.
He had to abandon his post, didn't he? Right back. Come across and deal with it. As he did, let's not forget in the build-up to the goal for Belarus.
Yeah, and that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't have to happen. There should be a midfield player tracking that run. Kolchi's just a central midfield player, more of a holding player as well. And yet he still made a good run into the box.
Yeah, making the running on the near side is Molosh, but Walcott sticking gamely to his task.
They did. Got back, worked back well there, Theo Walcott, doing his defensive duties correctly, tracking the fullback.
Now a gone in Minsk. 2-1 is England's advantage. It'll be interesting to see, Robbie, over the next few years, how Theo Walcott develops. I mean in terms of where his most effective position is, because he's played all over the place, really. Right-hand side, left-hand side even for Arsenal. But there are those who think he might be better as an out-and-out centre-forward.
Yeah, I suppose on the right-hand side he gets a little bit more time and space with it. He can face forward probably a lot more and run his fullback with his pace. But ultimately, yeah, I think he might end up being a striker, maybe in the same mould, hopefully, as a Michael Owen for England, that type of player, fast. But we'll see.
Arsene Wenger always said that in Theo Walcott he was buying the next Thierry Henry. It appears as though Belarus are going to be the first to make a change tonight. More on that in just a moment as Rooney digs in up against Melnianchuk. A bit aggrieved that the decision went against him.
Practically playing out there now, Wayne Rooney. Almost looks like in a left midfield position with Steven Gerrard, almost swapping over, playing in behind Emil Heskey. Whether that's a temporary thing just for this passage of play or more of a permanent thing in the second half, we'll keep an eye on that.
Molosh was looking to combine with Sitko, but English midfielders haven't had the same sort of space or time in which to operate. In the second half, more examples of that, but Wayne Bridge a little rash in his challenge. Stazovic, the victim.
Yeah, tackle from behind, the scissors motion with his feet. Very, very defensive-minded now, England, when you look across at the line. Just Heskey up top, 5 guys across the midfield.
This is Igor Filipenko. Giving chase is Williga. It's a chase in vain. Gerrard and Rooney looking to combine. This time, though, it's Kutuzov who's found a little space between midfielders and defenders. Stuart Pearce, Capel's assistant, coming through some instructions with Sean Wright-Phillips.
Yeah, looks like he'll be coming on. Just going over probably the set pieces where he is for corners, free kicks.
Now Bridge hurtling forward. Started to play the early ball off balance. It's easy for Filipenko. Kulchi. Some more cohesion to this Belarus attack until the final pass, which was scooped up into the air. There's Brown underneath it. And now back the other way, Gerrard. Well, Emil Heskey will be disappointed with that.
Yeah, again, just a little bit of patience needed from England. Steven Gerrard getting on the ball exactly where he wants to be, just in behind in that space. And just trying to poke it through to Heskey. But with Gerrard playing there, it's forced Rooney to be more on that left-hand side.
Well, the increased intensity and focus in the English midfield, Robbie, has resulted in more Belarus errors in this second half.
Yeah, I just think we've adjusted slightly, Capello. Bringing Gerrard in and almost playing Rooney on that left-hand side. Just solidified that midfield area. Belarus were finding lots of space. And you have to say it's worked in that regard.
Once again, Shevnov moving the danger posed by Walcott. Now, Heskey's ball has found Rooney inside the area. Forced to cut back and now looking for Gerrard, but overcooked it just a tad.
I suppose England fans might expect now, with England being 2-1 up here, to control the game a little bit more, but it's just not happening. Belarus is still attacking, still playing football, forcing England back.
Run from Sitko had the crowd very excited. They ran into Lampard and then Gerrard. As the change is going to take place now with Vitaly Rodionov, another one of the Bate Borisov brigade, about to come on. Looks as though Kutsilo will be the player to make way. So a positive switch. Bernstanger.
It certainly is a forward player, a striker on for a midfield player. And he's got his gloves on, ready to go.
Part of that Bate side who have just delighted the whole nation in Belarus. And exploits in the Champions League. Even getting to the group stages was a remarkable enough achievement for the tractor boys, as they're known. Heskey and Brown involved on the near side. It's been another industrious display by Emil Heskey.
It's going to be Sean Wright-Phillips whose turn to now. And, well, like for like, really, isn't it? Theo Walcott making way.
Yeah, it is. Sean Wright-Phillips is in good form right now, confident. Didn't really happen, did it, for Theo Walcott? He had a couple of opportunities. Maybe he didn't make the right decision, but he certainly worked up and down very hard.
Wright-Phillips rejuvenated by his return to Manchester City. And Gerrard looking rejuvenated in an England shirt tonight. Wayne Bridge force his way through. And Melanie Anchuk making sure that didn't happen. This is Molosh. Sicko. Belarus have to be a lot more patient, forced into a lower tempo approach in the second half. Low tempo about the support. There's Molosh. Trying to cut us off. And Kulchi. Fairly graphic description of infringement from Steven Gerrard. And another switch for Fabio Caballo. He's going to turn to Peter Crouch. He comes off the couch, so to speak, to replace Emil Heskey.
Yeah, again, like-for-like players. He did a great job, I thought. Emil Heskey held the ball up well, assisted with goals.
Now, Andy on-off, finding Boliga. Vitali Boliga trying to take matters into his own hands.
They just haven't managed, have they, to get into England so easy in this second half. The forward players have seen a lot less of the ball, and when they have, it's been in these deeper areas. A lot tighter England in this second half.
Wright-Phillips, his first involvement. And his 21st cap tonight, Sean Wright-Phillips. A large majority of them have been as a substitute. Rooney. And there will be a stoppage. Rooney's involvement leading to some trouble here.
He just gets hit by the ball in the face there, Rooney.
Stanzovic, wouldn't it? Stanzovic, the man asked to fill the boots of Alexander Hleb tonight. And certainly the first half, Robbie, did a pretty good job of doing so.
I think so. I think he's been very bright. Obviously a very good footballer, along with Pavel Sitko on the other side. A similar type of players to Alexander Hleb. It's amazing, isn't it? From the same nation, same type of football. He's very, very good on the ball, technical.
The Belarus medical team just making sure Stanzovic can see straight. David Beckham wondering if he will get an opportunity tonight. Well, there's already been a switch on the right-hand side, but it didn't involve him.
Maybe might get a go in the centre of midfield. Seen very little, really, of Frank Lampard and Gareth Barry. Mainly, really, because they've been concentrating on their defensive duties. England, really, for the most part, have been on the counter-attack in this game, which they've done pretty effectively, but they've been unable, really, to pass the ball around for any period of time.
Bridge Phillips and Brown. Tandem on the right-hand side now for England. Brown's long heave forward, sailing straight out of play. Sitko. Melnianchuk.
And there's Rooney again. A very, very deep position for him, but prepared to work hard for England to secure this result.
Rooney's goal it is. It separates the side so far. And picks up this flick on from Crouch. On to Sean Wright-Phillips. Back to Wayne Rooney. And he turned back into congestion, really, with that initial touch. And the chance slips away for England.
That was a good break, though. Came from the flick on from Peter Crouch inside, picked up by Rooney.
Bridge now to progress unchecked again. He's found Gerrard. Now Rooney. Beautifully done by Wayne Rooney. Oh, he made it look so easy. He can't stop scoring goals at the moment for England. And surely that's the goal that makes the point safe.
Well, like other games, England are coming on strong in the latter part of the game. That's a great bit of football. Wayne Rooney knows exactly who's behind him. Gerrard lets the ball go. Gerrard plays a one-touch ball, and there is the composure. This clever little over there from Rooney. He knows where he's going. Now, excellent composure and a great finish. Good football from England.
Another double for Rooney to go with his 2 against Kazakhstan. And it continues the remarkable trend under Capello in these 4 World Cup qualifying games. Someone has scored at least twice in each of them for England. Joe Cole with 2 against Andorra. Theo Walcott with a hat-trick against Croatia.
I think it really has been the power of England, isn't it, in the second half? Physicality. Belarus have had very little opportunities in this second half to get their football going at all. And of course, the players that England have up front are always a threat on the break.
It was Heskey who was involved in the build-up to the first Rooney goal. Crouch and Gerrard involved in the second. Uncertain moments in the first half seem a long time ago now. And the opposite side of that coin is the Belarus fans looking at their team heading towards a defeat here, which it seemed as though they were going to be on a course to avoid, at least at times in the first half.
Yeah, and I think fair play to Belarus. Alexander Hleb said that they wouldn't just sit back here, they'd come out from the first whistle and attack England, and they certainly did. But continue with that policy and it can come back to haunt you. The football isn't good from them. They are very, very open to attacks from England, and that's what's really hurt them in this game. England's ability to break very, very quickly and with quality and ruthless finishing.
A series of quick-fire changes continuing. Strakanovic coming on now, replacing Vitaly Kutuzov. Strakanovic, who plays right here for MTZ Minsk. 2 clubs in the Belarusian capital. Gerrard. And from Wright-Phillips. Crouch. Trying to dig out a route to goal. Verkotsov was the man in his way. Liga. Now, Rooney will be the man grabbing all the headlines in the morning again. I'm not sure if that's an accurate representation, Robbie.
No, but he's played really well, hasn't he? What I like about Wayne Rooney, he's prepared to do the other side of the game. Maybe sometimes it's detrimental to himself going forward, but in the second half in particular, he's worked up and down that left-hand side, but managed to get forward and score as well. So a good performance from Wayne Rooney.
And just as effective, Steven Gerrard, Robbie, with a all-important opening goal and big part to play in England's third and Rooney's second as well.
Yeah, obviously his position's changed. He's more in the centre in the second half. And it hasn't been the sort of game, really, for him to be too involved because of this situation right now, where England are playing, you know, they're kind of holding their shape. They haven't really dominated the game of possession for him to get too involved. That's why we haven't seen much of Frank Lampard.
Now, huge lack of concentration at the back, and that has been something that Fabio Capello has been concerned about. That almost allowed the Liga to slip in here.
Lampard just being a little bit sloppy in there. They get away with it. James Sharp off his line.
The Liga stabbing him back towards Rodionov. And the Belarus substitutes. David James able to deal with a threat. Kutasov looking on. He was once thought of as the heir apparent to Andrei Shevchenko. He was signed by Milan in the early part of this decade. Ten minutes to go, and England closing in on win number 4. 4 out of 4 and 12 points. Would be a nice position to be in Group 6, heading into what will be a long winter break, 6 months without a game.
Yeah, it's a long time without a break, but without a game. But Fabio Capello's got to be very, very happy. I think he'll admit they haven't been scintillating in these qualifying games up to now, but what more can you ask for? 4 wins out of 4, plenty of goals. So far, so good for him.
Fans around the world will be thinking that the side weren't exactly scintillating qualifying for Euro 2008 either. The difference was they didn't get the results either.
Yeah, it's a very good point. It's like business-like. That's been mentioned a few times in the press conferences. Capello's business-like, just wants the 3 points. Not that bothered about entertaining too much.
And he's still screaming in the instructions. He doesn't want any slacking here over the final 10 minutes or so. There's Brown. That's to Wayne Rooney and Gareth Barry. Is that, Robbie, do you think Fabio Capello is now settled on what he believes is England's strongest lineup, or is it really going to be a case of adapting to the opposition and tweaking things here or there?
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I think it will be tweaking. I still think there's still square pegs in round holes, if you like, players playing a little bit out of position. I still think it isn't quite right for England. I have to say that, even though it will be a good victory. I think against better opposition, Adrian, I think they'll struggle. They have to keep the ball better, pass the ball better.
Well, that's the question, Robbie, isn't it? It's all very well playing this formation and winning against Belarus and Kazakhstan, but can he do that against Germany? Can he do that against Brazil?
That's right. Playing against teams that are going to be a lot stronger at the back than Belarus have been tonight and won't allow easy chances from breakaways. Can England develop a strategy where they manoeuvre the ball better, use the ball better, pass it better?
I'm sure Wright Phillips doing the manoeuvring. Steven Gerrard, well, the whistle had gone. Wright Phillips leaving a foot in to keep the move alive. Gerrard's shot tipped away in any case.
Similar to his goal, wasn't it? Just trying to steer it into that corner.
The Gerrard-Lampard debate will roll on. I don't think one result's going to change anything, Robbie. That one will run and run as long as they're both part of the England setup.
I think it will run and run, and again it'll be where should Steven Gerrard play. He started on the left-hand side as a 4-4-2, and that changed in the second half to take him more into the hole behind those two front players of Rooney and Heskey. But without the ball, Rooney had to do a lot of work on that left-hand side. So it's not ideal, but you've got to give credit to Capello in England. It's been enough to get the job done tonight.
So they're without a game in 6 months. That's a competitive World Cup qualifiers. It will have some interesting friendlies, if you can say that about any friendly nowadays, to come, though. They have to play Germany at the end of the year and then Spain early next year. It'll be fascinating to see how Capello deals with those couple of opportunities.
And they're great friendlies, aren't they? They're great games to have against Germany, in particular Spain as well, with the way they play. How can we cope with that kind of passing and moving? The Spanish really at the moment are very, very impressive.
Cut out by Wayne Bridge to David James, who had a much more comfortable second half. Now then, opportunity at the end, perhaps for Gerrard, for a second for him, and a fourth for England. And somehow he stabbed it against the post. Well, he wants to use his right foot there, Robbie, just to poke it in.
I just think a little bit casual. Bursts through right here and does the tricky part. He fakes, he drags it. It's just simple to knock it in, and really should just stick this away for his own goal scoring. Just stick it away. Just a little bit casual there, just leaning away. Yes, possibly should have taken it with his left foot, but normally in that situation you go with what's comfortable. He felt he could get an outside of the right foot strike on it and still send it in the goal.
I'm sure there are Scottish fans everywhere saying, look, it's not just Scottish strikers who can miss open goals.
I just think he thought he'd done the hard part, just expected it to go into the back of the net, and just miskicked it a little bit.
Down the line from Brown. A bit of chew on here for Wright Phillips. His cross cannoning behind off Wilcox off. And David Beckham is going to get a cameo appearance, it appears. Not a bad situation to come into to win your 107th cap. And it's the two-goal hero, Wayne Rooney, who will depart.
Well, very, very good from Wayne Rooney. Very, very confident right now, scoring goals for club and country.
David Beckham, whose England career began in a similar situation, a World Cup qualifying game in Moldova. Back in 1996 comes on as the header arrives from Matthew Upson.
Sean Knight-Phillips will go across the left-hand side. Beckham, his normal position, wide on the right.
Rooney has taken his personal tally with England goals to 19 tonight. This was his second, England's third of the night. Finishing, exhibiting tremendous poise. Beckham's first touch. Really just playing out the last couple of minutes of this one now. Belarus have positives to take from the game for sure. Most of them for the first 45 minutes.
Yeah, it just blew up a little bit in the second half. I think with a few just a slight changes in the way England was set up. They couldn't play their football. They couldn't get through the midfield five, if you like, and looked very, very vulnerable at the back. Looked a little bit weak at the back, actually, Belarus.
Final switch themselves as Alexander Hleb's brother, Vyacheslav Hleb, comes on to replace Stazovic. Slava, as he's known. He's here in Minsk for MTZ, and a spell in Germany with Stuttgart and Hamburg. We're into stoppage time. It's going to be 4 minutes of it. Bridge. On to Wright-Phillips. Maintain the momentum. Well, the goals keep piling up for England, Robbie. 2 against Andorra was a slow start, but then 4 against Croatia, 5 against Kazakhstan, and another 3 here tonight.
Yeah, it's good for confidence. It's good for everybody back in England. It may actually keep the press off their backs for a few weeks, or maybe now for a longer period. There's not a game for 6 months or so in these qualifiers.
Now Beckham is away. Keeps the ball in play too. Crouch in attendance, and thus the corner had to be conceded. David Beckham, the only England player in history to score at 3 different World Cup finals. Will he be part of a 4th in 2010? Bridge, back to Beckham. Chevnov there to collect. I think there'll be a little quibble in the mind of Fabio Capello, Robbie, despite the goals going in, the lack of clean sheets in the last 3 games, goals conceded against Croatia, Kazakhstan, and now against Belarus.
Yeah, possibly a little bit. I think it's something that will nag at him. He's that type of coach, I think. He demands good defensive performances from his team. And I think in the second half, you saw that a little bit with just a little slight change with Rooney playing on the left-hand side, Gerrard coming inside, just making that midfield area more solid than maybe other coaches, or the general expectation might have been for England just to play better football, but he was happy enough to defend it and play on the counter-attack, and it's worked out perfectly in this game. It's been a perfect away performance from England.
He's about to do something that no other English coach in history has ever done. It's win 4 World Cup qualifiers to open up a new campaign with. English coaches over the years have tried and failed to do that. Sir Alf Ramsey, Bobby Robson, Greenwood. Glenn Hoddle couldn't do it. Keegan couldn't do it. Even Sven-Göran Eriksson couldn't do it.
I think if you're going to do something like that, when you think of Belarus, Kazakhstan and Andorra, they'd be the teams that you want to beat. Other than Croatia, you know, you, as an England fan and player and everything, everybody associated with England, you'd hope to win those games. But let's give credit. They've done that very, very well.
Croatia was always the side to be feared, wasn't it, heading into the group, given what had happened in the Euro qualifying. The challenge in Zagreb is handled in much the same way as this one here tonight has been. It's a challenge that ends in another England success as they win their 4th World Cup qualifier on the trot. Fabio Capello goes into the long winter break of competitive action with plenty of sources for comfort. The goals on the night coming from Steven Gerrard early on, and then Wayne Rooney in the second half. After Sitko had crowned a wonderful Belarus fight back, and England prevailing by a 3-1 margin. They now sit comfortably on top of Group 6, with 12 points out of 12. And it'll be the Ukraine up for them next in April. We'll take a quick break and then come back and wrap things up here.
Now it's time for another World's Strongest Man Minute.
Ready? Take the straight.
The Icelandic giant, 6 feet 7 inches tall. He weighs 418 pounds. Bill, does he have an advantage? He outweighs the other competitors by more than 100 pounds.
And I don't think the weight has much to do with this. As you saw at the beginning, he started to pull on the bar when it was at a high position. He didn't get a good, long, strong pull. No matter what his speed is down the course, he's at a disadvantage from the start.
34 seconds the time to be if Torfi Olofsson wants to claim first in this discipline. And it's going to be close.
First.
And the time for Torfi Olofsson, 34.03, so he just misses out. He knows it's going to be close, but he's getting the official word now, and he's going to be disappointed.
14 teams, millions of fans, and 12 years later.
Inside, there it is! And a great early ball in there. And a great finish as well. You know, you can see that coming. Catch them by surprise. You never, ever do that.
Major League Soccer is stronger than ever. The MLS on ESPN.
Major League Soccer action this Friday on ESPN. With only 2 games left in the regular season, DC United will try to battle for a playoff spot against division rival New England Revolution. Revolution, DC United, live this Friday on ESPN. ESPN follows the NBA's preseason tour into Spain as Gilbert Arenas in Washington face Chris Paul in New Orleans in Barcelona. Wizards, Hornets, live Saturday. The NBA on ESPN.
European World Cup qualifiers. Later today, Norway versus Netherlands and Ireland versus Cyprus.
3 goals and another 3 points for David Beckham in England. Beckham coming on and making a cameo appearance at the end of this one. But it was Wayne Rooney who really stole the show. Yeah, hard to play in Steven Gerrard's opening goal for England, and then the latter to himself as we talk you back over the full game highlights. Wayne Rooney his part was this one, Robbie. Not sure how much he meant it, but ended up nicely for Steven Gerrard.
It did end up nicely for him. Just right into his path. But he's got a lot to do here, Gerrard, from there. His players in between, gets his shot through them somehow, and very, very accurately placed into the corner. Shevnov couldn't get across.
Steven Gerrard's 14th international goal, but that served really to act as a springboard for a Belarusian revival. Sitko sounding the warning signs for that glass from the edge of the area. And then Kulchi involved in this build-up with Kutuzov testing David James down low. But then back came England, Robbie, and Emil Heskey for the first time tonight, or the last for that matter, engineering something on the left.
Well, he's totally left on his own here. Does a great job there. Just stands it up at the back post, asking to be headed in, but Rooney just can't get it goalwards.
But just a couple of minutes later, Belarus had the reward. Their enterprise really richly deserved, and it was Sitkov who provided it, a close-range header after great work by Stazovic.
I just thought this was a brilliant goal. This is the final part, obviously, but the build-up, the movement, England were all over the place trying to defend Belarus at that point. Just excellent composure. Here with the fake back and the pinpoint accurate cross. Sitko making no mistake.
All the English defenders getting pulled towards the near post. Sitkov exploiting the situation fully, but it was Wayne Rooney who exploited this situation early on in the second half. The situation conjured up by Emil Heskey's bullish run. The finish was neat and tidy from Rooney.
It was, but poor defending. Initially on the initial challenge with Heskey, and then marking up in the box, a wrong side of defender there. Rooney's left, 4 yards out from goal. Everybody's looking at the ball. Nobody picks up Wayne Rooney, who puts it away very easily.
And then England doubled their advantage. Wayne Rooney helped himself to his second of the night. It was Gerrard's little touch that set him free, but Rooney, some wonderful composure deep inside the penalty area.
Yeah, that was the pick of the England goals for me. Great little combination, deliberately leaves this ball, makes the run in behind. Again, poor defending, going to ground, nowhere near it. But credit to Wayne Rooney, excellent composure and good finish. Just love to see that little movement there, nicely weighed back in. Great England goal.
Stroke taking him to 19 for his country. And in fact, England could and probably should have had a fourth. Steven Gerrard rounding the keeper, contriving to miss from close range. But no damage done by that miss, and England sitting where they wanted to be, on top of Group 6 by some margin as well. They lead Croatia by a 5-point margin. They're 12 out of 12. Ukraine next, and then Belarus, Kazakhstan and Andorra making up the pack.
Yeah, I think it's an important win, that one. You know, they need that little bit of breathing space. Difficult game against Ukraine next.
Well, that's it for us tonight. So glad you could join us. It was a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Robbie Mustoe and all our crew involved, I'm Adrian Healy. Thanks for the pleasure of your company. We'll talk to you next time.